Meteorologist Wayne Mahar. The news team in touch with Central New York.
Good evening. It's a Friday night, and for some neighborhoods, that means loud parties and not a whole lot of sleep. As Syracuse University spreads out, some people call it student creep. Places that used to be quiet are getting their share of noise complaints, and then some. Nightcast reporter Betsy Sykes is here with more on what seems to be a growing problem.
Each year, more and more students move into neighborhoods that used to be home to full-time residents only. As the number of students increases, so does the noise level.
Life and death matters.
For 11 years, Miranda Hine has put up with noisy student neighbors. The beginning of a new school year brings with it new problems.
Every September we have the same problem, and it's a question of re-educating our new neighbors as they move into the neighborhood. So the noise is an issue that doesn't really go away.
It's parties like this one that have Miranda Hine and other neighbors upset. Lots of drinking, loud music, all the ingredients for a noisy neighborhood. Students I talked to at this party say they're willing to compromise with neighbors.
We don't want to have problems, we just want to have a good time, and if people ask us to turn it down, we turn it down, that's all. Some
neighbors say absentee landlords are at the root of the problem. It seems the fewer owner-occupied houses, the louder the decibel level.
The balance of owner-occupied homes and homes that are temporary homes for students at Syracuse University has come askew, and there are streets and areas of the neighborhood that the balance is completely out of whack.
Now, most neighbors tell me that graduation time and the fall, when the students come back, are the worst, especially since many people keep their windows and doors open.
Joe Nicoletti is the chairman of the Neighborhood Preservation Committee on the Common Council. He says, I guess it's a pretty big problem.
He says it most definitely is still a very serious problem, but it's not as bad as it used to be.
Now, you touched on this in your report just then. We hear more and more about this. You have what is supposed to be single-family houses with 6, 8 students, what have you, living in them, and that certainly contributes to it, I suppose.
Well, Nicoletti says there really isn't anything that you can do about this. You can't just kick them out because they're all living in the house. The city has tried to do some things like requiring a certain number of parking spaces for a house that has a lot of students living in it. And, of course, the city is working with the university and with neighborhood groups to try to find a solution to the problem, if there is a solution.
Yeah, apparently there have been court cases elsewhere saying you cannot define really what a family is. Who's to say 8 students together aren't a family?
Absolutely. There's no way you can legally just throw them out because they're not all members of the same family.
And tomorrow night's a football night.